Hey everybody, this is Marine with Backpacking with a Hammock. In this video today I would like to talk to you about hiking footwear. I believe hiking footwear is one of the most overlooked but least understood and one of the most valuable pieces of equipment that we have and we should have. If you take care of your feet will take care of you. You don't go from point A to point B walking on your hands. It's on your feet, and we need to learn how to take care of them better. There's two types of footwear that we're going to be looking at. The first one is going to be the boot. Now the boot has been around since our great country has begun, from the military to frontiermen, cowboys, even to today with our hikers. The reason why boots have been around for a long time is because they worked very well. Next one we're going to be looking at is a hiking shoe. In this case, this is a Trail Runner. Trail Runner is a fairly new concept and it's always being improved. There's one that goes in between those two, and that's a hybrid between a boot and a hiking shoe. But we're not going to look at that today. We're just going to look at the hiking shoe and the hiking boot. Now the weight for these two footwear, the boot now weighs 2.5 pounds just for one. This running shoe weighs just less than a pound. So this one's 2.5 times heavier than this one. And you can see how this can kind of wear you down, and this one you could probably hike a lot farther and a lot faster. Pros on this boot is ankle support. These boots have great ankle support. It also has underfoot support. You can see it's pretty sturdy there underneath there. And so if people that have weak ankles, bad ankles, a boot is really good with a high top and tight around there. It gives great support. So boot has great support. It also is waterproof. This one has Gore-Tex in there. So when I'm crossing a stream or a puddle where water's like this will keep my feet dry. So these are really waterproof. It's really handy to have that Gore-Tex in there. Boots also is long lasting. So if you were to do a through hike, say on the AT, you could buy a pair of boots and they'll last you all the way through the end of the trail, where other shoes may not. So the boot is very durable. Another thing with a boot, you can use it all season from summer to winter time. If it's extreme winter, I probably wouldn't use this, but sometimes I do put this on when I'm just banging around with my snowshoes. I'm snowshoeing. I can put a heavy sock on and use this, and this works well. My feet stays pretty warm in this. Now the cons on this boot is they're not very breathable, so your feet will get hot, they'll get sweaty, especially with that Gore-Tex in there. And also with the boot, it can be very heavy compared to, say, a hiking shoe, and very clunky. If you're doing a long hike and you're wearing these can tire you out a lot more than, say, a hiking shoe. Another thing with the boot, especially with this one, has leather, so you have to treat it, which keeps the long lasting on it. And I would treat this every year. I've had this boot now for 5 years, and I've taken this down in the Grand Canyon, the Havasupai. I've been up in the Boundary Waters, Superior Hiking Trail. I've hiked a lot with just this boot. And another thing with a boot too is, it's a real big con to me, is they dry real slow. So if water comes over the top over the ankles and the boot gets wet inside, it takes a long time to dry this boot. Now let's look at the pros and cons on this hiking shoe with this Trail Runner. They're very lightweight, nimble, they're great. When I have these on, I feel like I'm just flying. I tire less, I can go long distance. And even the tread is really great. I don't have problems going over rough terrain. There's enough support on there. It's not as good as a boot, but I never have a problem with the support underneath the shoe. Another thing that's nice with the hiking shoes is they're very breathable. You can see this one has mesh all around it, so my feet stays dry. They breathe really well in there, which is really great for hiking. Another thing I like about this hiking shoe is if I have to cross a stream, I don't have to worry about taking my boots off or putting on camping shoes and crossing the stream. I just cross the stream with this because I know when I get on the other side, the water will come out of this mesh and it'll dry real quickly. So by the time I get to camp, these will be dry. The cons with this shoe is you can see there's no ankle support. So someone with a weak ankle or have ankle problems, this might not be the best type of footwear for you. Another problem you could have is with this low cut, debris can fall inside there, and rocks and leaves or sticks and stuff, and you have to take them off to get that stuff out. But there's a way to combat that, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. Another thing that's a con is this is only seasonal. You can't use this in the winter time, so this is great for summertime. This is great for early fall, late spring. I'll try to push this shoe all the way as far as I can because I really like wearing this shoe. Another problem with this shoe that I read, but I never had that problem, is carrying a lot of weight. I never carry a lot of weight, so when I hike, my pack averages about 24-25 pounds with food, water. In a couple weeks I'm going to Isle Royale, so I'll have 10 pounds of food because we're going to be up there 10 days. So my pack will be up close to 30 pounds. And I'll have this trail shoe on, but there's ways to combat that with carrying weight and for ankle support too. If your ankles are weak, and runner that comes up with me has a weak ankle and he wears these trail runners, but there's a way around that. So a way around that is using hiking poles. When you get these hiking poles, you can transfer a lot of the weight onto your upper body by using these, especially going downhill with that weight. You can put them in front and put all the weight on these hiking poles, or coming up I can put all the weight on my arms, helping me pull myself up. So one suggestion I like to make is people over 40 years old should use hiking poles. It really helps hiking. It takes the weight off your legs, off your knees, off your ankles, off your feet, and it transfers more up to the upper body. I'm 56, runner's going to be 60 this year, and I'm hoping that by my 80s I'll still be hiking. I believe I'll still be hiking because I have these. I couldn't imagine not hiking without these because I've been through some rough terrain, and with my hiking shoes I do just fine. Another thing I suggest with hiking shoes is getting a good insole. These insoles I have are from Superfeet. Another thing what's great with this, if my shoe gets wet, I can take this out and it helps dry my insole, and also the shoe will dry a lot quicker when I have the insole out. So you can take this in and out and dry. These are really great support. When I first bought these shoes, the insoles that come with them, they're okay, but after a while they'll just break down. So I really suggest if you're going to get a good hiking shoe, buy a good insole. So one thing I suggest when you get these Superfeet or an insole is go in and try them on and find the one that works best. Bring your hiking shoe with you and put it in there, walk around with them, and then try different ones on there. There's a lot of stores that'll have these in a bin, so you can try different ones and feel which one works well for you. So I really suggest that because I'm flat-footed, I don't have much of an arch, and this one really helped a lot. And then there's a lot of good support on this. Long-lasting, and like I said, they dry pretty quick and they help your shoe dry. And just put them right in. Easy to put in and take out. One of the cons I said was debris would fall inside your shoe because of the low cut. But one thing that works really well is these gaiters. These are from Dirty Girls. These are ankle gaiters. The first thing you want to do with these Dirty Girls is put it on your leg with the point out, and on the back of them there's a piece of Velcro. And they give you a little piece of Velcro that you tape on the back of your shoe. But what I did, because they will fall off because you're going to be in mud and water, it's going to fall off, so I took some epoxy and I put that on there and epoxied on the back there so it will not fall off. I have cotton socks on. You never want to wear cotton socks, but for this illustration I have white on so you can see it. So do next is put my shoe in. Once I get my foot in the shoe, you take that front of it, which has a hook, come all the way to the top of the shoelace, hook it on there so it stays on in front. You bring it around back, put it on the Velcro, you bring this around your shoe. So you hook it on there, wrap it around you, and you can see that's nice and tight around the ankle, so none of the debris will get in. These are really great, and if you have running shoes or if you use any trail runners, I definitely suggest getting these Dirty Girls. Now when you go onto the website for Dirty Girls, you have to be careful when you type in Dirty Girls. You have to watch out, you might get a lot of porn sites, so you just want the Dirty Girls that you're going to put on your legs, not the ones that are going to get you in trouble. One thing that's very important when you go buy a pair of shoes or boots, you go in and try them on. Don't buy them online unless you have tried and know exactly which one that works for you. Don't be like a Chevy or Ford guy. So when you go buy a pair of boots and you say, well, I like Salomon's or I like King, I like Merle's, don't do that. When you go in there, you look at all the shoes or all the boots and you try every one of them on. And bring the socks that you're going to be wearing when you go hiking. You put them on and you walk around and try every one. Because you may think that you're a Salomon guy, and one thing with Salomon, and any European shoes, they're very narrow. I have wide feet and they just don't work well for me. So one thing I would try every shoe on. When I went to buy a trail runner, I wasn't looking at this shoe here. I was looking at ones that were a little more expensive, and I tried them all on, and this was the least expensive one there is. And this is by Merle, and I'm not saying to buy a Merle, but this one really worked well for me, and this was one of the cheaper ones. And I just love this shoe. So I'm not telling you to buy a certain shoe. You go in and try every one on, and whatever fits and works for you, that's what you use. Do not say I'm this guy or that guy. Be unbiased. Take a shoe that works for you. Your feet will love you for it. Now this concludes our video, and I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any suggestion, if there's something I missed, please put it on the comments below and let me know, and we can share it with the other people. Thank you guys for watching. This is Marine with Backpacking with a Hammock, signing out.